What's up, everybody? We're back. The Motivational Mofos, a podcast for rebels who will never stop pushing the limits of what is possible and attainable in their lives. Hosted by me, Scoob Lansdorfer, and Virginia Coe, both who have faced and overcome obstacles utilizing the power of mindset, action, and rebellion. Virginia, what's up?
Hey,
How are you
hot
doing?
minute. It's always a hot minute with you and I.
I know it always so is, and I lost our where I can't even see you. Hold on. There we go.
Lucky you.
No, lucky you. You don't have to. Oh, you can still
I
see
can
me.
still see you.
Yeah. You want me to turn it off? I think we kind of set this up before we started. And we were both like, man, we look kind of good today. This lighting is like pretty banging today. Usually we look, all my lines are showing. And
You think it's the lighting?
I think we actually just we're glowing right now. I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah, it's about time that we started like healing our shit, handling our shit, and just taking care of ourselves.
And you know what? And I absolutely agree with that. I think that has a lot to do with it. Because there's times we come together. Heck, remember the last podcast we did? I went off on stuff that you were like, by the end of it, you were like, dude, that's not a podcast. That was just a therapy session. Like, stop and restart. And, and I didn't look so good then because it was just how life kind of kicks you in the ass sometimes. You know what I mean?
It happens all the time.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
It's a never ending cycle. And that's what you have to get through is understanding that you stand up, you brush yourself off, you get back on the horse and you ride. And eventually you'll get bucked off again, but you get quicker at getting back up.
Yeah. No doubt about that. You learn how to, the things that used to put you down for a while, a long time, don't put you, well, and you learn from all that other stuff too, to be able to jump back up that quick because you got that kind of in your arsenal now, so to speak, as like a better way to deal with it, Look at us. So we're already going off, right? And which is cool. I love which we do so well together. But we've been gone for a minute. Like we've actually been gone for a minute. You've been doing your thing, what you do. I've been doing my thing. And we haven't, we were on a nice schedule there for a while, but like with me and you and the way we are, it just boom, it blew apart. But here we are back together again. So we appreciate everybody that might be listening in when this comes out that are here and still hanging on with us. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. And there's been a lot of people that have reached out and said, we love your podcast. You know what I mean? Because it's just the flow of how we do it. You know what I mean? We just don't give a shit. We don't even have a subject. We never start with a subject. Go ahead.
We do it to help people. That's why we do it. So our inconsistency, we apologize.
Exactly.
But we're still showing up when we can and still trying to help.
Absolutely. Giving 100% all we can. And when we're actually jumping on here and showing through people through our own fucked up mistakes, right? Through our own fucking shit.
You make mistakes? I don't make mistakes.
I don't make any.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's being transparent and being relatable that shows people that it's okay to have those moments, to have those the hard shit. Like we have to be relatable because I see so many coaches out there that are showing only the good stuff and saying you can have the good stuff if you just follow me. That's bullshit.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
That guy's going through shit too. And if he's not gonna admit it, that's not your coach.
That's not your coach at all. It's really kind of driving me nuts right now. You brought up a subject. I don't even want to go down this rabbit hole, but I'll touch on it real quickly.
No, I want to hear it.
That's because I've been doing this all my life in coaching, and I've been online coaching, and I've been building online businesses for 20 years. And these Facebook ads that I see now, and that are just popping up everywhere, that everybody that's a coach, and it's this, it's just like, dude, get out of here. Everyone's a coach now. And when you see behind the scenes of what it's really like, it's not. Be very wary of these people that are telling you that, they'll have you this result in this amount of time, this quickly, and blow you up. All I'm basically saying is watch out. There's a lot of people blowing up right now that are coming out of the woodworks because of a lot of things like the pandemic and different stuff that got people online that are not going to last, and they're going to be swiped away. And within a year, you won't see, I bet you 90% of these people. But the ones who have been doing it there and stick with it and admit that they fuck up and they're wrong and all kinds of shit will hold on and be there at the end.
Yeah.
So
I saw something, and I took a screenshot of it. It was a coach who was training other coaches.
Yeah.
And it was like the top 5 things to get clients. And number 1 was use a pain point. That to me turns my stomach.
Yeah.
I am never going to weaponize your pain for my gain. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
Like, holy shit. And coaches out there are doing that.
Oh, they're doing it big time. That's in the marketing. See, that's and they're doing that like crazy. And if you're just real and genuine about your experience, there's pain in that. We all have pain, right? But you can just tell your story, and your story will if it's going to resonate with someone's not. And the people, and the people it resonates with will be part of your tribe. And if they want to come on board, they'll raise their hand and come on board. If you have some online business or you're coaching or whatever that may be that you do, and then them people they'll come on board and stay with you forever. But just because you're of being real and genuine, transparent, you know what I mean? Authentic. And it's going that way. It's going that way big time now. And it's funny to actually watch some of these Facebook ads and see some of these guys that are doing like what you just said. And then you go down and read the comments and just to look at them real quick, and people are awake and aware to it, and they kind of go, like, come on, like for real, you know what I mean? Maybe not on that situation, but but it's not like it used to be. 20 years ago, completely different story, you know what I mean? But we're kind of going off on marketing stuff here. But what did we say we were going to talk about?
That's what we go off on. So we were gonna kind of touch base on stuff, because I had a big epiphany about stuff about a week ago, and then another shift this week. So that's kind of where we were going, was does your stuff control you, the stuff in your life? And it's not just physical things. Think about, because a lot of those times we accumulate physical items to try to keep up with the Joneses. So it's all the stuff is kind of encompassed in that.
I know. I like that. It's cool because it made you before we started this podcast. I think I might have caught it because I hurried up and snuck in to hit the record button. I don't know if you knew, just to catch, because I'm like, this is good shit, what she's telling me about. And you were telling me about how you had a kind of that epiphany of how you had a kind of mental breakdown where you were going a little bit where you're at right now, and they have a lot of stuff, and that you look back in your past and where that came from. That was kind of an overall the story. And you got me reminded of seeing a YouTube video today and seeing a tiny house, and me hitting upon something that I have too much clothes, right? Simple clothes. Like, so I'm like, holy crap, and that's kind of where this conversation took us, before we started recording this. But it is so true. People accumulate all this stuff and they attach a lot of stuff to it that they don't really need to do. Like, if you identify with something, as soon as you identify with it, there's a lot of stuff you now have to start to create beliefs on that. It can do a lot of like bad stuff for you, actually, not good stuff, Yeah.
So think about like think about hoarding. There's a psychological issue that happens to where you hoard.
Yeah.
Stuff is responsible for a lot of, not responsible for a lot of discord, but it can contribute. Does that
absolutely
make sense?
Definitely. And you got me thinking, like, you can even tie in stuff to be like your job, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, like, stuff could be like you're committed to this job and you think that's the end of the line, and that's kind of stuff, right? That's your stuff. That's your thing. You
said it right there. That's your stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. If you have to be in a certain position to fulfill somebody else's expectation, that's baggage that doesn't necessarily fit in a box, but it's stuff that kind of is determining your trajectory in life.
Yeah.
If mom and dad wanted you to be a lawyer, a doctor, wanted you to get a college degree, all of that is baggage that you carry. Is that what
Yeah.
you want?
And then what happens is you sometimes take that, right, to get yourself more stuff. So you take that.
You go to work to accumulate stuff. And
Yeah.
and to if you're a lawyer, a doctor, whatever you are, you're driving a nice car, you're living in a nice house, you're accumulating china for the dinner parties that you don't have. Like, I remember registering for china when I got married, and I was 20 something years old. And then when I got divorced, I pulled out the box of china. It still had all the tags on it because that was old school thinking, but that's what his parents registered me for. Because that's what you were supposed to do is have all that stuff.
Exactly. And there's, it's funny. It's like, so basically you do the stuff to get the stuff. So that's what we're saying. You do the stuff to get the stuff, but you're attaching yourself to the stuff that can just totally fucking really fuck your life up. Right. Yeah, it really can.
We're programmed like that from such a young age. We hear our parents fighting about the stuff and fighting about work to get the stuff, to pay for the stuff, to pay for the house, to pay for the clothes, the food, everything.
I know. Wow.
When if you just kind of pare down what you're doing and live from a pure place, things shift. And the journey that I'm on has really highlighted that for me.
Me too, honestly. I'm kind of going down that same kind of road with you. And so my head is thinking, like, people are listening right now go, I know some people, I'm being like the devil's advocate, thinking like, they're probably thinking, oh yeah, real nice. I mean, I can't just go now and get rid of my stuff. And I'm set with my house and my kids, and I get all that. That's absolutely, but you can, because I'm a good example of this. I went and became a corrections officer because that's what my dad did, so I could get the stuff. I do the stuff to get the stuff. I hated that job. That job made my soul blacker than your shirt. But I did it to get the benefits, and I built that. Got married and had the kids and got the house and blah 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 blah. But I started to realize, like, through this, you can change it. If you decide to change it and you get yourself that much stuff and you identify with that much stuff, you got to take it little increments. And you got to start to change in little increments. You got to bust your ass. I busted my ass, started to work online, build online stuff. I didn't all of a sudden dive in, like completely dive in and say, get rid of it all and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But I took it in increments and started to build to my freedom, right? And build up to my new freedom. And it can be done. I'm living proof of that it can be done, but don't make a rash decision and jump. Like, if we listen to Motivational Mofos with Scuba Virginia today, and they said, screw all the stuff and I'm quitting work tomorrow, and don't do that. Don't do that. I don't think we have that much persuasion, but I'm just saying, man, I was just thinking about that. Like, some people do, like, they will question, how am I supposed to do this? And, I
do it all the time. You know that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah. I still do it. And then here's another thing, just to touch on really quick, and I didn't mean to cut you off, and that is, when you get this freedom, when you finally do get it, there's a lot of responsibility with freedom, right? So you always think, I want this freedom, to be free, to get up every day and do what I want to do and go wherever I want to go. Blah, 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 blah. Believe me, that's not as appealing, and it's awesome in a way, but it's also it can be hard too. That's its own stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to be motivated to do shit. And I'm not always motivated to do it.
Yeah.
And for me, especially with what I've been doing recently, like, if I don't work, I don't eat. So that's a whole different thing. It's almost like you put chains on and you have to decide which chain you want. Do you want a fancy corporate job? That's a pretty heavy chain. Do you want to live like a crazy nomad like Virginia. That's a different type of chain, but it's still a chain because I am responsible for feeding and taking care of this vessel.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's scary. And is it worth it for me? Yes, I prefer that chain versus the corporate chain.
Yeah.
But I also had to detach from a lot of my stuff. I was gonna say a lot of it or all of it, almost all of it. And that was very hard for me.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But it was a stay in a tiny cabin that helped me realize I don't need that much.
Yeah. Yeah. And absolutely. And but it's freeing. It has to be freeing. But there is this fine line too, where you know, like you just said, you freed yourself and got a lot of freedom, but you don't work, you don't eat, right? And so there is this fine line of you want to make income, and you want to get compensated and monetize kind of what you're doing, but don't go crazy. And you know, so you're always saying to yourself, I want more, but how much more do you really want? I mean, where is that fine? The thing about humans is we want to expand. That's just our nature, right? Our nature is to be limitless, to expand, to grow. It just keeps going. That's why we never get to where we want to be.
And we can do that.
Yeah,
we can expand to that point, but it's like rungs on a ladder. Like I can't reach the top rung without climbing my way up.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You can't just there has to be a transition period for you to shift and change, because there are other opportunities out there to make money. There's a lot of other opportunities
Actually,
out there
tons,
to make money rather than a 9 to 5. But then you really have to think, what is my end goal? Why am I doing this? If you I don't have an address, I can't get a real job, so I have to generate income on my own. Okay, so I chose that, so I have to be okay with that. If you want a big mortgage and a big car payment and all those things, you have to decide what you want to really do. If you want to work that 9 to 5, it better be a 9 to 5 that you love, because you're going to have to really kind of use it,
settle into it. Like,
so many people, they go to a job that they hate to get stuff that it's just stuff. So I don't want you to hate where you're at. I want you to be able to find freedom in loving your life, because life is short.
Absolutely. Make the best of this life. I relate that so much. I did that. I've been down that road, took that job because it was the thing to do, and that's all you can do where I'm from here in PA, and there's no other good jobs. You just take it, and that's what you just ride it out till you retire. And then you know, and I was just like, no, screw this. I don't like that idea. I still end up doing it 18 years, but luckily I got in when I was young, and you know, like 27 years old.
Are older. If I could just save somebody just a couple years
oh my gosh,
of starting to shift your thought process to there is more to life than a 9 to 5. If you love your 9 to 5, I want to support you 100%.
Definitely.
Make sure it's that 9 to 5 that feeds your soul. If it's not, then start getting curious. And that's all it takes, is to get curious as to how can I generate income in a different way? And what am I really spending my money on?
Yeah. And then start in them small increments. Like I said earlier, just start taking action towards that new thing that feeds your soul, that you know, that's it. Yes. That's the light. It's like, that's the thing I want to try. And here's the thing. I did a couple things when my light bulb kind of went off, and I didn't want to be a corrections officer. I was like, man, this is not me. You know, what's the first thing I did? The very first thing I did, I'm saying this to give you help, is I went night shift, because I knew a night shift I could sneak magazines in. No one would check me, right? right? We're not allowed to have anything in jail, but I would buy entrepreneur magazines. I knew I wanted to do something online, and I wanted to create my business to be free, to do it wherever I wanted in the world, and to be able to travel the world, travel the United States. And so I started, that's kind of just the premises I went off of. And I took in small increments. I had a full-time job with a full house and 3 kids, right? I started just reading entrepreneur magazines and stuff, and went night shifts so I could read. I read it all night, everything I could about how to do this. You know what I mean? And that was, and then I started to implement it when I got, like, I'd get home and have about 3 hours, and I was very tired, beat up. I worked all night, but I put in the time on this right here. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to you right now because of this story, because of everything I built by doing what I'm telling you right now. And it all came in these, I didn't go for big leaps and bounds trying to do this, just small, tiny steps that build into this momentum. And finally, it took me to, I mean, I got to travel the world, training in motocross, build online digital businesses and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Here we are doing this podcast, Motivational Mofos. Met you, and we've never even met each other in person yet.
So funny.
Isn't it crazy? Like, I've never been in your presence. We've never, ever. But we've talked. Well, we have a whole damn podcast together.
So funny. So funny. Yeah.
It is. It is. It actually is. And it's really cool. I love it. And I think it's really awesome. And I love doing our podcast together, you know, and you said it in the very beginning, and that is, it's just to help people. And the whole thing behind this whole thing is to help people. And if it just one person gets something out of this today that makes them take that little right turn because they just weren't happy, and then
it's
that's
just a bump, just a little nudge, a little bump that gets them going.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. And then you say too, like, you know, people, if you're happy, being having that corporate job, and like you said earlier, this just popped back in my head and wanted to say this: if you're happy having that corporate job and you're happy with accumulating big stuff and all this stuff, then that's your thing. I'm not, you know.
Yeah, because the stuff is not the problem, and that's what I realized this week. So let me tell the story about what happened last week.
Yeah, go ahead. Because, you know, Motivational Mofo is about the story.
Yep. So last week I did a farm sit in North Carolina. It's bike week here, so if you hear the motorcycles, that's why.
Oh, really?
I'm on a small town main street. It's like Bayberry, but it's bike week because the river's right down the road.
Shit, I should be there right now.
It's awesome. So I did a farm sit in North Carolina, and I was just enjoying the day, and I went and I sat out on the porch, and the porch had all these little colorful things, and I just kept looking at the stuff, and I had not a panic attack, but I started getting really anxious and really overwhelmed. And the thought came into my head, when did you realize it was dangerous to own stuff? And for me, I was like, when did it become dangerous to own stuff? Like, why was it affecting my nervous system the way it was, where it felt like a threat? And I had to really kind of peel that apart and figure out, when did stuff become dangerous to me? And so I started thinking back, and it was last January, my ex put all of my possessions in a storage unit when I was not at the house. He and his friends loaded up my stuff and put it in a storage unit. And although that was devastating and is going to take a long time to heal from, that's not when stuff became dangerous to own. So I went back further, and I came up with a memory of me in high school, and we had my aunts staying with us, and they would wear my clothes and steal my jewelry. They were addicts. And I started thinking, was that when it was unsafe to own stuff? No, that wasn't it. So I went back even further, and I had a memory of being a kid and my mom bagging up my toys And there was one thing in particular that she took that I loved. And I remember arguing with her, like, why are you taking this? You know, I really love it. And I did love it. She's like, well, you never play with it. And she was giving my toys to my cousins who didn't have it.
Wait, what was that toy?
It was a plastic bowling set. So it was like plastic pins in the bowling ball. And I love that thing.
I thought you were going to say one of them. Din, 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 din,
No.
din, din, din.
How old do you think I was? So yeah, I was really upset at that. And the answer came back instantly. The Virginia, it really isn't a question. When did it become dangerous to own stuff? It was really just a statement that you needed to reflect and realize that it's never been dangerous to own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The danger comes in when you are attached to stuff.
Attached. That's it. Identify. I said it earlier.
And I was just like, wow, what just happened?
Yep.
That I had that epiphany sitting on that woman's porch, looking at her really cool things.
Yeah.
And it finally all condensed into this moment of realization that it is not our stuff that is dangerous, but it is that attachment that we have and that fear of losing the stuff that we've accumulated.
Correct.
So all of that peeled away, and I was like, wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was a huge shift for me, because at one point I was so attached to my stuff.
Yeah.
That I stayed in a tiny cabin last year, and it gave me the understanding that I could live with so much less. And in October, I went to that storage unit where all my memories were, all the things that I worked hard for. Yep. There was so much pain in that storage unit, but I went through and I sold all of my stuff.
But you had
it was hard, and I died a lot. And at the end of the day, when I got to take a picture of an empty storage unit, it was like a weight had been lifted.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you left all that emotional stuff that you identified yourself with to that. You identified yourself with that. And you're saying that your attachment and identity, when your identity becomes with your stuff, it's so easy to do, but it's actually a burden, right? I had the same thing. I had it. You're reminding me so much. Because I've been meditating like crazy lately. And I had this, and I'm pointing this way because I'm looking out my window here, and I do a meditation right up on the hill there. And that's where it happened. And it hit me with what I'm even doing now, because I kind of switched from this motocross training to this online digital marketing, right? And I thought, and why I say that is this, because it was in this meditation, I was able to see this because it was something new, right? So I identified myself as a motocross racing coach for years. And now I'm starting down this new path as like a digital marketing coach, right? And so as I started and it hit me in this meditation that it's just an identity, and don't attach yourself to it, and don't identify as that is it. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was like, whoa, that is so true. People identify themselves like everybody in life. That's how they do it. Like anyone does anything. You know, I'm a football player, I'm a basketball player, I'm a skier, I'm a mom, I'm a cook, I'm a coach, but you know, that's part of what you have to do in life, which is crazy because it's just, it puts you in the place that makes you feel good in a way, but it also makes you, but you also want to, what am I trying to say here? Identify too hard with it, because it can twist you up in the sense of really you're identified with nothing. It's just basically you and becoming one with yourself and being free of all that, you know. And it's freeing, like, so your story just really hit me because you freed yourself from that. But imagine all that emotional stuff, if you haven't freed yourself from that yet, would still be, that's the crazy thing about humans, right? We could erase everything right now. If I clicked our fingers, me and you erased every emotional, every memory, everything, we'd be all right. We'd be like, kind of like, whoa, and we'd start to rebuild right now, you know, but and it wouldn't be no problem. We'd survive. We'd be all right. But our bodies, we can't do that. If that happens to our actual bodies, we're done. right? We're in the grave, but we can erase all that emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, all that stuff can go away and we can reprogram it, right?
Oh, 100%. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
So having that epiphany was reprogramming myself, like coming into an awareness that I still had this issue that I needed to upgrade, and needed that mental awareness that it's not stuff that is dangerous. It's the attachment that you have to your stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
So let me fast forward to this week.
Yeah.
So I finally, I have that epiphany, and then I walk into this house.
Looks like a lot of stuff.
And I started laughing so much because
What is that right there in that
stuff everywhere. It's a rhino.
Oh, is it what?
There's a rhinoceros.
Oh, it looked like that was inside of that.
It did. Nope, there's a face inside of that. But yes, there is like stuff everywhere. And it was the universe. See, the universe pairs us up with these experiences to seal the deal. And it was the universe pairing me up with this house saying, see how safe it is? You can have stuff. It's totally safe to have stuff. But you don't have to be afraid of it.
Yeah. And it's a new
relate to it that is important. It's not the stuff that's important.
Yes. And to me, I don't know. This is what I'm feeling. I'm going to throw it at you. You tell me this is for you, but it's saying that you can rebuild your stuff now, the universe. But
100%. 100%.
Do it with the way you don't identify with it, but you can have, the universe wants you to have stuff. It wants you to have everything, right?
100%.
It wants you to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and full of joy. There ain't no doubt about that.
What is it? You can have, do, or be anything you want?
Absolutely.
100%.
No doubt about it. But when you have them blocks, like you had right there, you just said about, you're not going to get that stuff. You're not going to get the stuff you really want that, the universe is now kind of saying, oh, okay, Virginia, here you go. You can have some stuff now, but you will look at it completely different. You won't identify with it now.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
You can detach from it, and you had them experiences from your ex throwing that stuff in that hole, in that storage unit, and you had to depart with that, and that was hard on you. You have all that trauma, and it's just crazy, just how things work, how things go. It's just crazy. You're making me think of something that I listen to that Sadhu guru. I always say his name wrong. I listen to him all the time, and he was saying the other day, and this is like he said, everyone says, "Oh my God," like. Because he was talking about robots and artificial intelligence, and if it takes over, right? And people are all saying, "No, we're going to lose all our jobs. They'll take over everything we do. They'll be in houses running compute, whatever," right? And he's always, what I love about him, you think he'd be like, he'd go with it and be like, "Yeah, that's not good," but he never says something like that. He says, "That's perfect. That's perfect." And I'm thinking, what's he going to say? And what do you mean that's perfect? And he goes, yeah, and then you don't have to do nothing. You know what you can do then? Find out all about yourself. Go meditate, go take a walk in the woods, go hang out with your kids. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to work, because he went a little deeper. He was basically saying, you don't need much stuff to survive. You don't need the money you think you need. You don't need the job you think you need. You don't need the car you think you need. Let the robots take over. The person, he was acting like the person sitting there stressing, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Right there's your problem. You're already stressed out. Do nothing and be happy as hell. Right? You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, that's so true. That's so true.
So I'm coming up on my 10-month anniversary for this whole nomad journey that I've been on.
10 months?
10 months that I have been doing this, and I haven't died.
I love it.
And yeah, it's just, I'm so lucky to be able to sit and get to know myself. And we don't do that nearly enough.
No.
Because we're so drained, and we're so busy with work, and overwhelmed with family, and always trying to go. It is so in true. Those quiet moments where you just sit and really get to know yourself. Take a walk.
Yes, huge thing.
I set my alarm for the first time in months the other day, just so I could go catch sunrise at the water.
If anybody's been watching some of my Facebook profile, that's all you see from me doing. Like, that is what I've been doing. I've been catching sunrises. I'm telling you, get out there and do this.
Sunset girl.
I love the sunset too. I've been catching some of them, but I'm more definitely the sunrise. But here's the thing we're touching on. Like, just start in small steps to do that. I'm telling you, if you get outside, if you get in nature, you go see a sunset. I don't care what you do. I don't care what that is that you do, but take time for yourself, whatever that may be, meditation, even if you've never done that. If it's just listen to something on YouTube, something to empower you, and take it in small increments and build momentum on that. I'm telling you, if you give it a month, not even a month, that even sounds huge. I don't even want to make it sound huge. Give it a week. And I'm telling you, things will change for you. They really will. No, I'm not saying, I'm talking to everybody out there, because how about it? And we've been down that path.
But I'm so glad you said momentum, because that is key, is shifting your momentum. Because if you are in that tailspin going where you're frustrated, you're annoyed, you're at your wit's end, that's clearly the wrong direction. The momentum is set in that direction. So it will take a hot minute for you to slow down, which means go take a walk, go into nature, take a bath, go to the bookstore, whatever calms your nervous system down, and then take steps to build momentum going the other way.
Absolutely.
I can't even tell you how funny it is and how fast the universe is lining stuff up for me. And again, 10 months ago, I was in that space where I was just starting, where I knew that I was watching Abraham Hicks videos just to keep my vibe high and to keep my head from going into that rock bottom negative place, because I was leaving a relationship. My friends were falling away. You know, within 2 months, my family stopped talking to me. My relationship had crumbled. My family stopped talking to me. And then my friends stopped talking to me, all because my life was shifting the other way. And that freaks people out. When you start changing things, it reflects to people in your life that they have things that can change too, and that becomes scary, and they blame you because they see it in you and they can't face it in themselves. So it has nothing to do with you.
You just nailed it right on the head. It's actually a reflection of them.
Yep.
Reflection of them. That's simply what it boils down to. It's not yourself, and whatever you're thinking, whatever you do, that's that responsibility, right? And responsibility is your ability to be responsible. You have the ability to be responsible for everything. If I hear someone say there's a guy dying on the road out there right now, am I responsible to go help him?
No. However, are you going to go help them? Because that's your character, is that you would.
Yeah, correct. But honestly, I'm not responsible, but I can respond to that. You can respond to anything.
Oh yeah.
Anything. But will my ability let me? Maybe not. Right. But I can respond to anything in the world, anything. So, you know,
I like that you're saying that, because I have recognized that it is my response to things, or my choosing not to respond to things, that helps in my my disposition overall.
Yes, because you just hit it. And I want to say this really quick. You hit on what it is. Once you are aware that you can respond to anything, then it's your choice, right? It's your choice in what you want to respond to, because you don't want to respond to everything. Some things are negative, some things are bad, but you have your response. Your response is limitless. Your ability has walls, right? But your response is limitless. You can respond to anything.
And most people react.
And most people react.
You have a conscious decision to make to respond in an appropriate way. Don't react. So many people are on autopilot and they react.
I know. Well, that's one of the things.
Realize that, oh, I didn't have to do that.
Yes. One of the big things that helped me tremendously, talking about taking them small steps to build momentum, was finding that out for myself when I started meditating. Was I was a big reactor, right? And to be able to even my own thoughts, right, your own dialogue in your head. I never stepped aside and looked at it for a second and just said and had laughed at my brain, so to speak, and just let that shit kind of, you know what I mean? And now with work that I've done and not identifying with my stuff and then meditating, I was able to step outside and respond to it, even my own negative self-talk, right? And just laugh at it. And I still, we're all still guilty of it, but I'm able to see that now and catch it a lot quicker. This is the stuff you can learn when you do self-work on yourself. And what else we touched on, anything you do is a reflection of yourself. How you respond to anything is a reflection of you and only you.
Yep.
If someone else does something and you get, I don't like blah, blah, that's a reflection of you. It's really not, you know what I mean? So
I used to go into this Clubhouse room, and Clubhouse is a social media app, if you don't know what it is, and you listen to people speak and you can participate in the conversation. And I would go into these spiritual rooms, and there was one person in particular who every time she entered the room, everything would like tense up, and I could not figure out what it was. But I sat in that room every time, and I participated in that room every time because I knew there was something in me that I was seeing in her that I didn't like.
Wow.
And so I sat and I sat and I sat and I sat and I sat, and then I figured it out, and I'm like, oh, okay, big epiphany, and I can let that shit go.
Yeah, that's wow.
But a lot of times we say, oh, I don't like that person, and it's that you don't like something that you see that you don't want to address in yourself.
Correct. That's it. Absolutely. No doubt. That's all ultimately it always comes down to that, no matter what happens. I get it. You're going to have people that you just don't resonate with, and that's going to happen.
I can already feel there are so many people going, no, that's not true. That's bullshit. Okay.
All right. It's all right. Yeah. Okay. And that's your right to absolutely think that. There's no doubt about it. But
nothing will shift until you really look at those things that drive you crazy in other people and say, where do I have these attributes, and how can I shift it in myself and not judge it in somebody else?
Correct. And your ability to respond to it and not react, because even if you have the ability to respond to it and not react, you step aside from it, go, and you'll analyze why you thinking that way, and you have the ability now to responsibility to say, I'm going to stay away from that. I'm not going there. Or I'm going to respond by, I'll talk to them. If it's a person, whatever, it's your choice. It's all ultimately down to your choice. Right. So yeah, we've done stuff, responsibility.
It's all good though. That's what we do.
Huh? What'd you say?
It's what we do.
It's true. I'm thinking, what else I'm thinking is this. It's reminding me how many people are stuck right now. Like, because I talk to a lot of people that online that are entrepreneurs, and, but they'll talk to me about their life also, because they built these businesses and stuff, right? They're, a lot of guys, I help a lot of entrepreneurs, but they're so stuck spiritually, mentally, physically, energy wise, everywhere. Like, it's bad, like really bad right now. And, it just blows my mind actually how many people that you would think from the outside are just like, wow, look what this person has. And they've built some amazing stuff up, people I've worked with, and they are in some deep, dark places, It's scary. It's actually sad to me.
Stuff doesn't fix what's broken inside.
That's biggest.
It's never going to fix it.
Yep. It's never going to fix it. And I see it like thinking, wow, it's so true. Like, you had your awakening. It's like this, none of this stuff helps them. It's actually made it worse for them. And it's kind of sad, There's a lot of people who need help right now. They're realizing it, and they want help, not only in business wise, but they want help, not, in the technical building on whatever, but they want help in really getting free of, free within themselves, spirit, their mental, their emotionally, spiritually, physically, you know.
It all goes hand in hand. Like your mind, body, spirit, wellness goes hand in hand with how you function out in the outside world. So if you're so concentrated on functioning well in the outside world, but you're not taking care of yourself internally, there's that discord.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you have to do the whole kit and caboodle.
I see it all the time. I see it constantly. It's crazy. I've actually seen it worse. It's not a problem for these people to build businesses. They've done, you know, they still need help. Like people going online now, because that's kind
But
of
they
a
can't
new,
enjoy the fruits of their labor.
no, not at
They
all.
will submerge themselves 150% into business just so they can avoid any personal time because they hate themselves at home.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. Really is. And it's, you know, people are kind of waking up to it, and you know, and seeing it, and they're trying to do better. And I you know, but it is kind of like sad in a way. And it's kind of like, shit, I don't like it, because I want people to be happy. I mean, we only got this limited time on this earth, and no one knows what's next. Maybe we go on with whoever. We don't know until that happens. But I know one thing: I'm getting older, and there ain't much time left, and I want to make one hell of an impact and ride this thing out like having a hell of a good time. You know what I mean?
I tell people all the time, I got more years behind me than I do ahead of me. So I have to do me.
You got to do us. You do me, and yeah, that sounded kind of bad, but do us, do you?
I ignored it. Oh, there goes Scoob again.
Yeah, there I go. But that was a good podcast. I loved it, and yeah, I think I'm so glad we brought this back, and we just went off on that tangent we kind of went on.
I
think we had a lot of good. What'd you say?
I said that's what we do.
That's what we do, yeah. But we do. Speaking of that, we also, what we ended on there, that's what me and you do. We're actually creating a program. We might as well tell them about that right now. And that's a program that me and you are coming up with to actually help the business aspect, my end, where I help people build the business they're out of their passion. That's a big key, right? You build a business on top of your passion, what you love to do. That's huge. And then what I'm seeing with a lot of these people is that's not what they're doing. They just went after the money.
They're going for money. And you can't, anytime you go after anything, especially money, it's got a energetic frequency to it. If you go after it, it will elude you. It thinks, oh, great. It's a game of chase.
It's like a butterfly,
becomes a
right?
game of chase. Sometimes you get scraps, but it's not flowing to you. And the key is to get things to flow to you. The universe is designed to come straight to you. Hence, I'm in this crazy mansion.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I can't even. I was sitting on the front porch. So sorry. It's a big plantation front porch. It's got these two rockers on it. Somebody walked by and said, "You have a beautiful home." And I said, "Thank you."
Thanks.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But I am glad to be here.
So happy to be there. Yeah, I think it's so cool. I love the story that lines you up for there. I think that's so badass, and it fits right in our podcast. The universe
is working in your favor. Please.
That's why you're glowing right now.
All you have to do is handle your shit.
Yeah, that's it. That's true. And then, but back to our program, that's what I'm doing. And then in your end, you just kind of did what you do, what you just coached about right there, about flow, about breaking the energy blocks that are about you handling your own shit, right?
I'm really, I'm getting so good. And I don't mean to say that, but I'm like shocking myself. So if I'm shocking myself, holy crap, buckle up, buttercup. But I am extremely intuitive in being able to listen. I listen really well and mirror back what you are showing me in such a key way that I can see it because you're showing it to me. I am just reflecting back to you what you're showing me. And if we can clear those blocks.
Yep. You're on your way. That's
it relaxes everything and lets everything flow in.
Correct. Absolutely. You know, so if you're interested, that's what we're putting together as a team, a coaching package. We don't like us. We don't even have it together yet, but we're working on it. And that's going to be both that ends of that aspect, building a business on my end, which I'm really good on your passion, and you being able to get the person pretty much unstuck, freeing, flowing in their energy, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And yeah, so if you guys are interested in that, reach out to us, leave a comment, or you can reach me at mxscoob@gmail.com. Where can reach you at?
Oh, where am I? Thiscoexistence.com.
What is it?
Thiscoexistence.com.
There you go. Perfect. So reach out to us.
Anytime.
If you guys are interested. And we also have our own separate programs too. So we're building this one together. So
that's exciting.
I know. I'm so pumped about it. I really am. I think it's a really good thing. And I'm really pumped also because people need it. Like I said earlier, just a second ago, I'm seeing that these people need what we're actually offering right now. And you can see we just come genuine. We're here to help. But people really need it right now. They really do. A lot of people are stuck. And a lot of people are just really.
And they're ready. Like I have seen so many people that are just ready for the shift. Even if you don't know what it is. I got an email from somebody who follows me on social media. And she's like, I don't know why I felt like I needed to reach out to you, but this is my story. And honestly, she just needed somebody to hear her story.
Yep.
I mirrored back some things and she felt better. That's it. Like we need to all work together to get to the next level. And I'm here, ready, willing, able. You're here.
That's why we're here doing this podcast right now. We said it from the beginning. This is just a reflection of us putting out there to help you. That one little thing that clicks, it says, yeah. The little light bulb goes off. That, whatever. And it's all about just being transparent, authentic, and telling our story and hoping that story resonates with you to help you. It's simply that, right? Motivate, and it's to motivate you. Motivational Mofos. So we come up with that name. Flow, not friction. That's a new thing I have. It keeps coming to me. The universe is putting it in. Flow, not friction. I don't know what to do with it. Make shirts. I don't know. Holy flow. Flow, I mean, whatever.
I'm gonna put
flow,
it on
not friction. Well, that was a great podcast, and so I guess we'll end on that note. And yeah, peace out, everybody. Reach out to us, and hopefully we stay on a little more of a schedule. Well, I don't know. Hopefully we'll be back soon.
We're gonna try,
but I can't say for sure. But we'll give her hell. So, right.
Definitely.
All right. So peace out, everybody. We'll see you later.